Making the decision to join a gym in the first place can be intimidating enough, let alone those first few steps on your first session. I remember my first time walking to a gym. I was intimidated as hell, had no idea what I was doing, and there was a bunch of big guys in the gym. And to make it matters worse, I was wearing a singlet that I wore as pajamas at the time, a pair of board shorts, and a really crappy pair of runners. So don't feel bad. I was there as well, but now I'm going to teach you how to start off a lot better than I did. So the first thing really is etiquette and attire, so you don't make the same mistake that I did. Attire is quite simple. If you walk into Kmart or Target, you'll be able to find some gym training tops. It's up to you whether you want to go with a t-shirt or singlet. Really, it comes down to whatever you're more comfortable with. And you'll be able to find gym shorts in there as well. Just be a little bit smarter than I was. And shoes is pretty not optional, but you can choose what you want to wear. You can either have joggers or you can have Converse, as long as they're enclosed shoes, just so you've got a little bit of safety there. And most gyms require you to have enclosed shoes anyway. And then obviously at the moment, I know in Brisbane we have to wear masks. I don't know what it's like around the rest of the world, but that's a new addition to the attire that we didn't have a couple of years ago. So hopefully that won't last too much longer. And then towels as well. Nobody wants to get on a machine with your sweat on it, so wipe down your machine afterwards. In terms of etiquette, there's a few things to know. When somebody has a towel on the machine, that is their machine. They are using it. They may not be on that machine, but it's still theirs. They've put their towel on there. It probably means they've either gone to the bathroom or they're supersetting, which means they're going between two different exercises, jumping between the two. Don't take the towel off. Don't start using the machine. And the same goes for keys, water bottles, anything they've put on that machine, just don't touch it. What you can do is if somebody's working on a machine and you want to use that one, you can say, can I work in with you? And usually they'll say, yep, that's fine. And then all you do is jump in between their sets while they're resting. However, it's a little bit iffy at the moment with COVID being around, because you kind of want to wipe down your machine between each person, but you might get lucky, and it's up to you whether you want to make that choice or not. A few other things. Put your weights away. For the love of God, I work in a gym. I hate putting your weights away. Please do that. And don't work out right in front of somebody else that's already working out. So if somebody's back here doing bicep curls, don't go and stand in front of them and do a different exercise. They're either checking their technique or just checking themselves out. Don't step in front of them. It's very, very annoying. And on the same regards, don't work out right in front of the mirrors. So where the dumbbells are, don't grab a dumbbell and then do curls right next to it. Grab the dumbbells, walk a few steps back, then you do your dumbbell curls. Next one from there, point 2, is starting small. When you first come into the gym and you're trying to build muscle, you pretty much adapt to anything. The worst thing you can do is go straight into a bro split where you're doing more than you're going to need to grow. The best shot is go to a 3-day a week full body program where you're doing one exercise per muscle group per day. So you do one exercise on chest, one exercise 3 sets on chest on Monday, one exercise 3 sets on chest on Wednesday, and the same on Friday. And you do that for back, quads, hamstrings, and every muscle group in your body. So you got something in my eye. All right, back to it. So you want to start small and then gradually, and I'm talking gradually as in 6 months to a year, then you can potentially move up to a 4-day a week split routine where you go upper body, lower body. I'm learning more and more, and I've been learning this stuff I started my education about probably 10 or so years ago now, and I'm still learning more all the time. It's all about making gradual progress. When you're increasing your volume over time, so your lifting volume, you want it to be linear. You want a linear increase in volume over a long period of time, but that may look more like going up for 8 weeks, then we drop down, going up a little bit for 8 weeks, then we drop down, going up for 8 weeks, dropping down. It's never going to be an exact linear line of increasing in volume over time. So make very, very small changes, very small increases over time. If you're growing, that's great. Stick with that. Make sure you're eating a lot. Get stronger. Those are the biggest tips I can get for you. If you don't listen to anything else in the video, listen to that. When you're starting out, start small, stay small, look at your progress. And that moves on to point number 3 actually, and that's tracking everything. So you want to keep track of all your weights that you're doing in a gym, especially from week to week. You want to see that you're getting stronger, and you want to keep track of your calories, protein, carbs, fats. Those are another 4 things that you want to keep track of. And on the same regards, you want to also keep track of your weight and waist. Why those 2 measurements? Weight and waist together will be able to show you, in some respects, it'll be able to show you whether you're increasing your weight from getting fatter or whether you're increasing your weight from building muscle. Especially in guys, we tend to hold a lot of our body fat around the midsection. So if your waist is getting bigger, then you're probably putting on fat as well. With that though, if you're building muscle naturally and you're eating a lot of food and you're trying to build muscle, get ready to add on a little bit of fat over time. It's just part of it. We can't get our calories exactly right all the time. Yes, you'll be building muscle, which is great, but a little bit of fat is probably going to come on as well. So just be ready for that. Point number 4, and again, this is following on from the last point really, and it's to keep your training very consistent, and I would even say boring, especially at the start. Don't start chucking in drop sets or paused reps or time under tension techniques just because you see them pop up on bodybuilding.com or other websites. Stick to what I said at the start. Keep your program very basic. Full body program, 3 days a week, 3 sets on each, sticking between probably about 6 to 12 or even 15 reps for your first even year of training, I'd say, and just focus on getting stronger over time. Keep the same exercises even for at least 8 weeks. Then you can change your exercises up a little bit. I would probably recommend for your first year, this is just a potential idea, choose 3 workouts, each of them lasting 8 weeks, and just cycle between the 3. So you do 1 workout, let that go for 8 weeks, have a week-long deload, which I'd cover in another video. Look that up. I won't go into that in this one. And then move on to your next 8-week training block, and then have a week-long deload, next 8-week training block, week-long deload, then move back to the first one. Then hopefully what's going to happen, by the time you've moved back to that first 8-week block, you've gotten stronger. So your volume is naturally increasing anyway, just from your lifts going up. So that is point 4. Point 5, and I really like this one actually, you will not regret training legs. You will regret not training legs. I did it when I first started. I was like, nobody's going to see my legs. I was still in high school at the time. It's like, nobody's going to see my legs. It's fine. I can just train upper body, and that's all the girls care about anyway. But God, I was dumb. I regretted training legs so quickly. As soon as I started to develop a bit of muscle on the upper body, and I started to look out of proportion. And just train legs. Please, just train legs. You're going to regret it if you don't. Nobody wants to walk around like a Dorito with a massive upper body and no legs to hold you up. Eventually you're going to break and you're just going to fall over and they'll laugh. Point number 6. Rest is good. And this is something I'm still trying to teach myself. I don't get enough sleep because I work a lot. But you want to be getting at least 7 to 8, even 9 hours sleep. And I know it's hard to balance that with work and life, but the best thing I've told myself is that extra little bit of sleep is going to give me more energy to get more out of that life when I'm awake. And it's going to help me to recover. Obviously, the main point of this video, going to help you to recover with your weight training. So rest is good in that sense, and rest is good in the sense of looking between your sets in your workout days. So, I mean, if you're doing bench press 3 sets, you want to rest at least 90 seconds up to even 3 minutes plus between each set. There's no real benefit to rushing your rest between sets. All that's going to do is it'll end up meaning that you can't lift the same amount of weight as you did for the first set, which then is sacrificing volume and sacrificing your maximum strength gains. So sit there and rest between your sets. Play on your phone if you have to. People are going to judge you, but you're going to have to rest. So 90 seconds at least. And if you're really buggered, if it's a big lift like squats, bench press, or deadlifts, then you can rest 3 minutes plus if you have to. Rest is good. And the final point, point number 7, and I don't know whether this one is actually going to relate to anyone else, but looking back on it, God, I was dumb when I first started. I thought that 100 grams of chicken breast meant 100 grams of protein. I couldn't wrap my head around why that wasn't true. It took me so long to understand it. And now I know that 100 grams of cooked chicken breast is only 32 grams of protein, or 31, around that amount. So the real point here is, one, that I was dumb as hell, so don't do what I did. And 2 is take time to learn about nutrition, and that will help you coming back to the other point where I was talking about tracking. So those are the 7 points. I hope that helps you to feel more confident walking into the gym. And just an additional thing I'd say as well, because I know it can be very intimidating at first time. I think something that needs to be realized is people inside a gym are a lot more friendly than you think they're going to be when you haven't been in there before. When you walk in, and if you're doing something wrong, people are probably going to come and help you. There's a lot of nice people in the gym, and they're going to help you if you look like you're going to hurt yourself. Or even if you just ask them. People love to show how much of an expert they are. So if you go and ask somebody, how do I do this lift? They will probably get an instant smile on their face and come over and help you. So the reason I want to get across that point is because a lot of people get scared about the whole gym environment. But most people in there are very friendly. They're not going to be judging you. They're too focused on what they're doing themselves and checking themselves out in the mirror. So I hope these points help. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, because it gives me ideas for other videos, and I also just love to help and give value as well. I've been doing videos every day. Hopefully I can keep this going. So keep checking back. Subscribe if you can, that would be awesome. And like the video and leave comments below. I'll catch you in the next one.